I look like a blue zombie. I do look like a fucking blue zombie. Oh my god. Yeah, it's not cool. So, I have no idea what I'm gonna say in this one. But, I guess I gotta say something, right? That obviously you could tell there are no lights on at this moment in juncture. I might have to turn one on here because this is like really crazy. It looks like Blair Witch, for anybody that knows that reference. They just have like some crazy ass motherfucker with a camera running around in some woods and shit. But only difference is that it's not extra blue the way it is right now. TV gives off some crazy ass colors when you like put videos and stuff to it or pictures. It turns into different. It does like its own thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a quick little rant here. I'm not gonna bore everybody and make people sit there and listen to me for half hour. I remember one time I was literally on this phone for like almost an hour. Just I don't even remember what I said. So yeah, let me turn that down a little bit. Just turn it down. So anyway, I don't know. You gotta always, man. This is bad. You can't see anything. It's probably a good thing. Nah, I'm just joking. No, I'm not joking, but I am. So yeah. Anyway, what I could do is pause it. Then it'll actually stay on one part. So you can actually listen to me rant for like another 20 minutes. So what is the reason that people like go out of their way for people? I think I did a video similar to this called Acceptance, but this isn't about acceptance. This is about like different things. Because obviously people in general do want to be, accepted in certain facets of their life. But that's not what I mean. What I mean is like okay, I think I got one now. When is enough enough? Like when do people just God, it really looks horrible. It's gonna look so bad on camera when I actually get it fixed and put on there. Maybe I could do a different lighting with the TV. Now it's not as bad. Just turn this off. I had it on Netflix, I think. I don't fucking know. I was watching some Cat Williams shit. Whoa, now you can't see anything. Ah, I'm not here. Where is it? Oh, there he is. Ah. So, anyway, what if there's somebody online? That's ridiculous. Sign off, motherfucker. Alright. People, I mean, this day and age is giving people a lot of, like, control over what they can do and what they can't do, or what they choose not to do. So basically, this one is going to be about when do you, how do I put this very lightly, but also very sternly? When do you know when to leave somebody the fuck alone? I mean, I'm talking about anybody. I can't tell you how many times that I've been in situations where, like how many times this has happened to everybody. You ask people to do shit, and they actually talking about Netflix. I was watching Aziz Ansari, the newest one he just came out with. I think it was called Live at MSG or something like that. I think that's what it was. And he was talking about this exact same thing, and I totally agree with everything you're saying about how you just, people constantly give you excuses and or ignore you, and you don't really know which one is the best way to, get across that you don't want to be bothered with them altogether. But what I'm saying is, if you wouldn't be interested in contacting anybody, then it wouldn't be any big deal for you to not to say that. Like you wouldn't hesitate to like make an excuse. Like, but if somebody does it to you, it's like, why did they do that? Why don't they up front? Why don't they just say what they are gonna say what they mean or whatever? I can see all the freaking craziness in my room. Oh god. Anyway, so I mean, does that make? I mean, literally, by the fact of people even questioning that makes people very hypocritical in my view. It's really not cool because now I can see if you've never questioned anybody giving you the runaround. Now I'm talking about anybody because same sex friends and stuff like that do that a lot also, and you probably have done it back to them too, and it says it could be an interest of yours, but it doesn't have to necessarily be. It's not exactly what I'm talking about. It's just it could go with both in this case, but there's going to be another aspect that I'll maybe touch on in this video. We'll see. But yeah, so why do people do that? Why do they go out of their way to try to like make it like kind of like ease the blow, and like instead of rubbing salt in your wounds, you just kind of like patch it up a little bit, and then it tears 2 seconds later. I don't know if that's subconsciously a way to just kind of like, okay, they'll get it, they'll get the hint, or if it's a way to just not want to deal with it at that moment. Because I mean, people have a lot of stuff going on right now. Just in general. I mean, people have probably been, at least in this country, they've probably been the most busy that they've ever been. Because I know people that have these crazy schedules where they have like literally no free time. And that part I understand. So, their free time is very scarce. So they want to spend it the best way they can and all that kind of stuff. Well, people that normally have like just one full-time job, I mean, they still have a good amount of time to get some social stuff in, depending on their schedule. Because that also is a factor. Trust me, I know. So, but people kind of tend to not think it's a big deal if they would be the ones, sending the the messages out, or making the excuses, and being that way. They would just make it like, okay, it's my way of trying to like say, kind of back off or whatever. Now, if you're the one ignoring the other person, you probably assume that they're gonna just, okay, that's fine. They'll catch on to it. It's no big deal. But if you're the one that is like trying to reach out, because you got to remember, whether it be same-sex friends, opposite sex friends, and or interests. So I'm going to go into with that, or potential interests, or whatever, somebody that you could have interest in. When you're the one, on the not the receiving it, you're the one issuing the olive branch, as it would be, or whatever, to like basically put yourself out there, and put your cards on the table and say, stick your neck out there and say, is this worth trying to be friends with this person? Is it worth trying to be friends with trying to get to know this person better, as far as another way, maybe romantically, maybe friendship first, and see what happens, all that kind of stuff. If people try to put themselves out there like that, that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of honestly, if it's something to the point where they constantly have been getting the run around, excuse me, and or just totally getting blown off by being rejected or whatever, it takes a lot of you got to swallow a lot of pride to come back from that, and put yourself out there, and basically keep trying to get in touch with this person, or something, to see what the deal is. just in general. Whether they want to contact whoever or not, whoever it is. So I think that is very hypocritical, and he touched on it very perfectly. He understood it. I understood exactly what he was saying, because he was basically said that anybody that has a phone or whatever, because he was talking about it, because a lot of it is honestly done through text and all, electronic kind of communication where you type everything. So he's saying that people that that have a phone are just horrible people, just anybody, because you would be the one that could do all the stuff, but then if it happens to you, you think it's like the worst thing in the world, and that is very hypocritical. But you can always justify things just because it's not directed towards you. Like, once it's something against you, of course you're gonna twist it the other way and say, how come they're not doing the right thing? But if you don't do the right thing, you can always try to justify it. And I think that's very hypocritical. It's probably something that, just in general, humanity should try to work on. But it's a very complex thing, because there are a lot of factors that play into it. Now, one of them I will touch on is, if whoever it is, some cases a man could be on the side of playing hard to get, as they would say. But more times than not, it's usually a female, playing hard to get with a man or whatever. Girls playing hard to get with a guy. And it's hard, because you don't know what the line is. You don't know how far. Honestly, you don't know if it's worth the. Not to say that the person isn't worth it, whoever it is. They could be or they couldn't be. They play games. They play games. What I'm saying is, you don't know if they're interested in you in that way. That's what I mean. Because they could play all the games in the world, and the dude, it's just like, this is ridiculous, and he just doesn't want to deal with it, and he's not gonna. They could be right for each other, and it just doesn't. He's just like, this is ridiculous. So, but you could look at it like, okay, well, if that were the case, then that means that he really wasn't the one for her, because he didn't, constantly try. But it's like, you gotta remember, once again, that puts yourself out there in a way that you have to swallow a lot of pride to take it to that level. And I sometimes think that girls don't understand that. But, they do. And I guess in the end they feel flattered that you went through all that trouble. So I guess I could kind of understand that. I guess I could see that point. But, you could kind of take it overboard also. Everybody's different. Everybody has different thresholds of what they're going to tolerate and what they're not going to tolerate. So, you just gotta look at a lot of different factors, and it's not easy. Nobody ever said stuff like that is going to be easy. And if it were easy, then honestly, if it were easy, it'd probably be way too many. This is going to be funny as hell. If it was easy to do exactly what I'm saying, you could just kind of figure all this out on your own. There would be too many people in the world, because everybody would, keep popping out babies, and the world would be overpopulated. So I guess it's a blessing in disguise, huh? Oh, man. So, that's a factor, and, but if he does, put in his work, as they would say. Oh my God, I have not said that term in forever. I definitely remember, like, oh man, that's a very, very hip-hop term, but I use it sometimes in the context of, pursuing a girl or whatever it is, in that aspect. Because I remember, I think I said that to my cousin. He was like, talking about some girl he was trying to talk to or whatever. And then I was like, he was like, talking about, I was like, oh yeah, you're talking about putting in work. I was like, yeah, dude, fucking putting in work. Yeah, I didn't know what you're saying, But it's just, it depends on how, because, if you really do think that it's worth it. That, you know, you would actually put yourself out there like that and just risk everything. Not everything, but risk a lot of your like pride and dignity, and just be willing to go through that for that person. I think that would be, you know, they would probably, you know, in the end appreciate that. And obviously, you know, they feel the same way, then, you know, there you go. And if they're the right person, because I mean, they could, both people still like each other, but then if they, in the beginning, they can like each other, but you still have to like really find out if you guys can click, you know. That is still a thing. Definitely. But I mean, more times than not, if they are like, seem like they are right for each other, and they obviously, you know, are interested in each other, then it is going to work out. You know, just have to find a way. Okay, now the aspect I forgot to, you know, mention is a lot of people do not actually meet each other in like real life anymore. So the cues of what I'm trying to say is a lot more difficult to read. I think, obviously, because it's, especially if you've never even seen whoever it is, whether, you know, any. This is probably going to be more lean toward, you know, obviously a romantic setting or whatever, romantic interests or whatever, because I really can't see people. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I've never heard anybody meet same-sex friend. You know, if they're obviously not, you know, gay or whatever. I've never heard anybody meet up with. I mean, I guess in some cases they meet up with people of the same sex and hang out and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I've actually seen some stuff like that in my life. I'm not gonna say who, because I'm just, you know, I'm not gonna go there. I don't have to go there to prove my point on that. Because I mean, they just have common interests, and they, you know, maybe we'll go to a certain event or do something like that. But I don't really see that happening as much as people would, you know, because you got to remember, see, it's not just, oh, you know, you just find somebody on the internet and you're like, oh my god, like, whoa. It's not always just that. People really do have crazy schedules, and they can't fit in, oh, you know, having to go through, you know, finding somebody, go to the bar, and, you know, it takes time to do all that. When you're working like two jobs, and in the hours that you're working, you don't have time to do that. So people actually do have to kind of resort to that stuff sometimes. So it's definitely a factor. Now, how do you really tell if stuff like that is happening before you two even meet? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because if they're, you would think, I mean, I know it's like a lot easier to do stuff like that through the computer and just kind of like stay safe in a way. But if there's a possibility that you can actually, you know, go and meet the person or whatever it is, and it's not really, you know, one party is kind of distant or doing whatever they're doing, and doesn't, you know, reciprocate anything, and it's kind of difficult to read it, and you probably wouldn't want to continue to pursue that. So, just saying. I still look yellow even though I have blue background now. Oh my god, that fucking room is so messy. It's so bad. So bad. It doesn't even really matter at this point. Yeah, I have no idea why I just said all that. I guess you can see that. I don't even know what it is. Or was that towel or something? Oh man. But yeah, I mean, that definitely is a factor, and you gotta weigh out the cues, because I guess, I mean, you know, when it comes down to it, the internet still has people behind the, you know, messages and stuff, so you have to kind of read some of the cues and all that stuff too. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about myself, because if I was, I would be throwing myself under the bus. You know what I mean? Do you? That's good. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard people, you know, say that they've gotten mixed vibes or whatever from people on the internet, that they couldn't really catch what they were trying to, how and the person was trying to react to what they were, trying to get in contact with them or whatever. Like, I think it's a lot trickier to play hard to get online because people would just assume as you're just honestly being like, fucking creeper and a stalker, like playing hard to get. I mean, how you play hard to get? Like, maybe if you just don't reply at all or whatever, then who knows? That's why that's a lot more tricky to tackle, but I could probably do a separate video on that, but I just don't really want to, honestly. I just don't feel like going there. But yeah, I have heard stories that people have gotten like that, and sometimes it ends up good because they, basically waited it out, and then it, so, and then, in the end, obviously, good things come to those who wait. Yeah, it's just stupid cliches, but it really is true in a lot of ways. Like, you save up money and all that stuff, you get to do shit, and, you work your ass off, and it pays off. I mean, I could show you stuff around the room and be like, this is not my life, not my life's work, but a good few years of my life have been put in this stuff. Like, the stuff I have, you have to like work towards that, and that's a good thing, because you can't just have it all at once. You won't really appreciate it as much. And I think that is probably a big reason why that more times than not it would be, the girl being like that and playing hard to get in any aspect, whether it be in, people that did meet already and they didn't actually hook up, or if it would be online or whatever. Because honestly, whoa, this is gonna sound really like it's gonna be very questionable what I'm about to say, but it's gonna happen, so just get over it. If like looking at how women are treated like in real life, it's probably a lot worse online, and I'm almost certain it is. So I mean, they probably do have to play almost harder to get online than in real life, because I could just, I don't know, man. I've heard stories, and people just send these crazy. I mean, they'll say it's not even like private message. Everybody can see it, and it's like, what are they doing? You don't fucking you don't talk to somebody like that. You don't even know them. Like, just don't do that. Now, it depends, like, the different, like, if it's a level of what you're saying. Like, if it's like, if it's somebody that you've never seen, you shouldn't just tell them to send you naked picture. Like, you have to know the levels of what you're saying. You don't say that shit. Now, if she's just a total, hood rat, as they say. Oh no, they really just go there with the fucking hood rat. I don't know why I came up with that one. I guess that was like the best example, best word that I could describe what I'm saying for that type of person. But maybe somebody like that would probably just do it and be like, all into it. But I would say more times than not, if they're on there, especially if it's just like a social thing, not like an actual dating site, they're not gonna fucking do that shit. That's disrespectful. It really is. And you gotta know your limits. Like, if you just like fuck with somebody a little bit, then they're like, okay, they're just joking around, and then it's, you gotta know, you know what to say. You don't say that to somebody you never met. That's not right. But that's that. So yeah, I could see why girls have to be like that online, just in general, because they have to be like that in real life. So that is an aspect that I can relate to. Because, being a guy, the guys don't have to deal with that shit at all. So, I am definitely lucky that I don't have to deal with that, because I am a guy. So, that is one thing that I do appreciate about being a guy, is I don't have to deal with creepy fan chicks. Or whatever. I don't know what you would call them. I don't know. I don't know, like, you wouldn't call them creepy fan dudes, because they're not, like, fans. They don't actually know who you are. They're just trying to, I don't know. It's not cool, though. Who knows? The internet, it's like, really is, how do I sum this one up now? The internet is very good and very bad in a lot of ways. Very good because it does help people a lot in business, helps people socially, people that move away, their family, they get to contact them, like, is, if it's an email or something, they see their profiles and all that kind of, stuff like that. That's how the internet is good. That you get to connect with people, especially if you can't see them all the time. I mean, I have family that lives an hour and a half away, and sometimes I just go and check some of their profiles, like, that's not even that far away, but still, it's still cool that you can, somehow be still connected with them, with certain aspects like that. So, that's how the internet's good. The internet's good because you can get a lot of information a lot faster than you can from just waiting to go home and watch the news. You get a lot more information than watching the news. You get, you get a lot of stuff, You could buy stuff on the internet. You could sell stuff on the internet. You just do a lot. Internet has helped a lot of people with business and the social aspects of, human culture in general. People, not just America, the entire world. You connect with everybody in the entire world. But how it's bad is that people don't realize that it's still people on the internet. I know that doesn't really sound right. It sounds like kind of like I guess it would be a double negative, or I don't know. Yeah, people don't realize that it's still people on the internet. You can't just say whatever you want because it's not cool, man. People really do get like bummed out over, I guess they would call it cyberbullying or whatever. That's really like a big deal. So you gotta kind of chill out with that stuff, and I don't know your boundaries. That's all. Not that hard. I mean, everybody has common sense when they pull it out of their ass sometimes, So yeah, anyway. I mean, it's all a game, I guess. People are gonna play games in one way or another, but I think when you are more direct, people do at least respect you more. If you're constantly getting ignored, I think they think that's like being like the coldest, I would think. And if you give them the runaround, then they think you're either, obviously at this point I'm just talking about romantic setting, romantic relationship. The person thinks you want them to try harder, or they just don't get the hint. I mean, that's why doing stuff like that is not good, because it gives people a sense of false hope, and or wants them to try harder, but nobody knows what that limit is until obviously, I don't know, so something bad could happen from that, and it's not good at all. But if you're on the, you're the one receiving, being the person sending out or being the person ignoring the person altogether, because, I mean, I know everybody, whoever watches this, everybody has ignored somebody that they didn't want to talk to. I'm be the first one to tell you that. Cool story. I literally, like, less than a week ago, I think, I don't even remember when it was, I blew up Twitter on this one, though. This is, I totally understand how a girl would feel, like, being like, oh, who's this, like, random, like, who's this random person trying to, like, talk, like, I really, like, not really to that level, but I could relate to that on that level, but by being so, like, random, well, I literally felt, like, almost violated by this. There was this dude, I think he's kind of, I used to work with this one dude that knows him, I guess, so he ended up adding me on Facebook, so I was like, alright, whatever, I'll add him on Facebook, whatever, and he's, like, into music and stuff, and I guess he heard that, I do certain stuff like that also. So that's fine, whatever. Never met the dude or whatever. Not really a big deal. I didn't think nothing of it. And I probably should have kind of caught the red flag from this, because he kept messaging me, like, when I first like pressed the button to accept him, and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna put a like on my Facebook page and all this stuff?" And I'm like, alright, man, yeah, I'll check it out. So then he kept, like, asking me about it. I'm like, And he's talking about what kind. I was saying what kind of music he's doing. He's like, oh, spread the word, dude. Put a like on my page. You put a like on my page. I'm like, dude, why do you keep asking me to do this? Like, just chill, chill out, man. It's gonna be all right. So I'm like, I guess I don't think I ended up doing that just because he kept freaking asking me. And oh man, I definitely get why girls are like that with guys that constantly ask them the same questions. That part I understood right there, and probably just right now, just by me reflecting on it now. So I can relate to that, ladies. Okay. And it's like weird because then like I don't know, maybe like a week later or whatever it was. It was probably like a few weeks I added a guy. So then like 2-3 weeks later, maybe like the day before or I don't know, there was another pay-per-view last week, and I think it was like 2 or 3 days before that pay-per-view. He's like, oh, you're into wrestling. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah. You like it? He's like, yeah. He's like, you have the network, and then he's like, I don't know who asked for it. It doesn't even really matter. But he was like, you have the network, and I told him I had network, and he's like, yo, send me your password and your email, email and your password or whatever, because it's usually the same as your username, the email is, and let me watch the pay-per-view or whatever. Let me watch the network. Let me watch the network. Never met this person in my life. Never, we weren't obviously even internet friends. Nothing. Like I don't know this motherfucker. I'm not gonna obviously say who it is because that's a different level too. But I could if I wanted to. I definitely could. So when I didn't know what to say. But of course, me being me, I told him I would do it. I said, yeah, sure. And I think right after that, he's like, oh, okay. And then I think I obviously blocked him right after that. I mean, it's no way in hell I was gonna, let him use that. I don't know him. You don't do that. You don't ask somebody to use a streaming service that you don't even know, especially off the internet. Like, it would even be less creepy if it was somebody that I met at my job, because I just run into, you work, you constantly see the same people at work too, like that shop there or whatever, wherever you work. There's always going to be somebody that you just see at work, not your co-workers. You know what I mean? So I do see a lot of people at work. Like if somebody that I've talked to a few times at work would have said that, I wouldn't even have thought it was be that creepy. But that's some creepy shit, because I've never actually seen whoever it was in person. So that was ridiculous, and what really, really got me over the edge, over the top. I was like, I really felt like violated at that point when he first did the first time, trying to ask me for my face, for my it's the WWE Network thing. He tried to ask for my password. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, no, it's not happening. Anyway, so after that, he was like, he literally, this is what this motherfucker did. He put his other Facebook on and fucking sent me another message. He's like, dude, you said you were gonna add me. Why'd you block me off? And I fucking blocked this, blocked the other account. Like, that's ridiculous, man. That's really bad. I mean, I've done some some fucked up stuff, but I've never done something like that. That I've never done. I can honestly say. So, oh man. So I blew up Twitter with that one. That was ridiculous, man. And that is an example of how ignoring somebody is a good thing. So that's not what I mean. That has nothing. That's just an isolated example, but that is actually a good example of why you should ignore somebody. Somebody like that, you don't need to be bothered with, because they'll just try to use you for anything. I've never even met the person, and they're trying to already use me for that. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's not happening. You picked the wrong motherfucker. Yeah. Oh my god. It's not funny. But it is, but it isn't. So, this what tops it off even better. Ended up seeing dude at the job the next day. with his fucking mama shopping. That's what I wrote on Facebook. Oh my god, dude. That's fucking hilarious. Of course, because I work in a place very, very easy to just like see people. Because, you know, they're always buying shit. So, yeah. I see people at my job I don't want to see all the time. There's something that I do want to see, but, you know. I'm not going to get into that. But, yeah. So, you know, literally the next day, I fucking end up seeing this motherfucker in there. He didn't say a goddamn thing to me. I knew who he was, though. That was funny. So, yeah, that's an isolated example of when ignoring somebody is a good thing. Now, the whole idea... yeah, okay, so I was talking about being the recipient of... Now, if you obviously play the runaround and you're the one giving the whole I'm busy forever spiel to the other person, whoever it may be, you think that that's fine, and obviously when I said it was the other way, you don't. When you're the one ignoring, you think it's fine, you think they'll catch on, but when you get ignored, you don't like that, you think it's not being direct. Now, either way, I think nobody would want this either. If somebody flat out tells you that they don't want to be bothered, I mean, this could be like somebody you've been friends with. This could be obviously somebody you're interested in, somebody... It's a little bit different if it's somebody you've actually already went out with, because then that's like a whole relationship video that we don't have to venture into. You know, like exes and, you know, all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's kind of different, but you could almost... I think either way, whether you would be the one telling them you don't want to be bothered with them at all, or you know, being on the receiving end of that, I think that's probably the coldest. By somebody saying, I don't want to be in your... I don't want you to be in my life. I don't want to be in your life. I don't. I'm done. I'm done with you. Like, if somebody sent that, even if it was in a text, like, if somebody sent a text to me or whoever, and they were on the receiving end of that, they're probably... Some people could probably end their life from a text like that, honestly. And I mean, I hate to bring it to that level, but I'm almost certain that has happened before in life. And it's really sad. Now, me personally, I wouldn't do that, obviously. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that if somebody sent me that. I would be mad and say, you know, like, well then fuck you, you know, what the fuck? You know, it comes to a point where you have to, you know, that's it, you know, you don't like me, I don't like you, and, you know, fuck yourself, whatever. That's just the way it is. Not everybody's gonna like you. You gotta get over that real quick. And trust me, I've definitely figured that out a long time ago. Anyway, now me personally, I wouldn't want to send that text either, or that message to anybody either, because I really, I don't know, man. I really think that would definitely bring... I have probably way too much bad karma as it is. But I would probably think that would really, really add to it. And I'm definitely trying to work on reversing that whole bad karma thing. Trust me. It's a process. But I don't know. I just don't really think I would have it in me. I mean, unless somebody really, really pissed me off a lot. I mean, you'd have to... I don't know. Like, I probably would still do one of the other two and just... I don't know, like, I just don't know if I could actually put myself in a position. They'd have to really, really do something bad for me to just say, you know, go fuck yourself, you know? And I think that actually happened a few times, too. I don't really feel like getting into it, because I'm just gonna get pissed off, so we don't have to get into that. But I'm looking back and thinking now, it has happened to me, so... Yeah, so that's that. You gotta learn what people to keep in your life and what people you probably shouldn't even have put in your life to begin with. So that's a little lesson there. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I don't know. I guess that was pretty much covers most of it. And you know, you just gotta kind of... Yeah, I do need a conclusion. Sorry, you gotta listen for another 2 or 3 minutes now. And look, we went over the 20-minute mark, whatever it was. Oh boy, I can ramble, can I? Anyway, you gotta find what is the best way to communicate on whatever level you're trying to do. Obviously, friendship, you want to be direct. Interests. In the beginning, it's a little more less structured because it depends on what how people are in the beginning when the so-called chase is going on, whether it be in somebody that you met organically meaning like in real life and stuff, and then if you met somebody through the internet, then obviously different factors go into that. But I mean, you gotta find the best way to deal with the people you do want to have in your life, and deal with the people you don't want to have in your life in the best way you can. And can't really tell you how to do that because everybody's different, but you gotta try to find the best way that you think. And obviously, if it's somebody that is just a total asshole, they're gonna be the first one to say, oh, somebody pisses me off, I'm gonna just, fuck them, gonna blow up in their face or whatever. If that's what they feel that they need to do, who's to say that that's right or wrong? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you that the best way that you think would be the right way. And obviously you want to, still try to have common sense with that too. So, yeah, you want to try to figure that out for yourself in the best way you can. That's all. Like I said, I'm no preacher. I just throw ideas out there and hopefully people grab onto them. And if not, then I don't know. There's nothing else I could do about that, So, alright, well, hopefully this one will be up soon, and, obviously you have to subscribe. I mean, you don't even have a choice in that matter. And, leave comments, hit that like button, or you can hit the dislike button, but nobody's going to do that now, right? Right. Alright, well, I hope you